Hi, I'm Jessie Budzinski, and I'm the Assistant Department Chair for Human Services. And I'm here today with Nikki Bond, who is an adjunct in our undergraduate program. And she has agreed to talk a little bit about her work in her full-time life. So, Nikki, do you mind sharing the title of your position and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Hello, my name is Nikki Bond, and so I am the program director of interns in education for the Illinois Innocence Project, and it is a nonprofit law firm. And what we do is that we advocate for men and women who have been wrongfully incarcerated in the state of Illinois prison system. And so my responsibility is to I directly oversee the student interns, and their responsibility is to evaluate actual cases. And
Mm.
they're evaluating them in a number of different ways, as far as they submit FOIA requests, which are the Freedom of Information Act. So they can submit FOIAs to try to get as much information as we can about the incident, about our applicant. They read through trial transcripts as well. They get to work with the attorneys. Sometimes we even may have visits with the individuals that are incarcerated. They go through evidence, and so it's a lot that is really a part of the internship as far as them evaluating their cases. But yeah, so my role is to provide them oversight, supervision, um, legal knowledge, and different things like that, as to help to support them to making sure that we are doing the best evaluation that we can, and also ultimately to determine if we actually have a case where there potentially is a path to exoneration and actual innocence.
That's amazing. And we're going to talk more in a second about internships for our students, like how we can coordinate with that.
Right.
What is something you enjoy the most about your position?
What I enjoy the most is that I feel like I have an opportunity to be an advocate for those individual applicants that are writing in, because I realize that this is probably the first time that someone has ever actually taken a real thorough look at their case. And so being able to read the application, and a lot of them are handwritten because, they are incarcerated. And so
Right.
a lot of them are handwritten, and our application is probably like maybe 17 pages. We try
Okay.
to get as much information as we possibly can. And so being able to read the experiences of these individuals, from the time that maybe before they were, arrested, to just their experience with trial, how their case has been handled. Like, this is the very first time that someone has actually taken a very deep look in investigating their actual case from an objective standpoint, not
Yeah.
from someone. I don't have any skin in the game at this point. And so that is probably one of the most important things, and one of the things that I love is being able to have an opportunity to hear their story and to really give them a really good, thorough evaluation. And then also having the students as well, being able to be a part of that,
Yep.
because they do a lot of the work. Like, I do a lot of the oversight, and I really help them to really dig into the case, but they're the ones also who are really digging in. And so I love being able to do that with them, because many of them, they love this work. They love learning about wrongful convictions. They are themselves social justice advocates, and
Yep.
they are their system. I call them system disruptors. Like, you are disrupting
I love
the
that.
whole system here. And so they're very passionate about this work. And so I love working with our interns.
That's amazing. So imagine a student's watching this video. What would you say are some of the benefits of doing an internship?
So I think about our students. And so I would say the majority of our students they want to go to law school, like they aspire to become an attorney. And I tell them all the time, this is as close as you're going to get to practicing law before you
Yep.
actually become an attorney, because they are doing a lot of legal work. They're reading statutes, they're reading a lot of case law, and they're reading, appeals. And so they are and I explained to them is that you are going to be ahead of the game before you get to law school. You are going
Yep.
to know more than the average law student does because of this experience. So I think of that with any internship, is that thinking about it from the perspective of, especially doing it before you actually get into the field, you actually are setting yourself up, and you're giving yourself many benefits and an advantage of being able to go into a position equipped, a little bit more equipped, a little bit more prepared, and a little bit more knowledgeable. And so I think that an internship, from my perspective, if someone came to me like, oh, I've already had an internship, I look at that as a valuable asset to our organization. And so I
Absolutely.
would assume that some other individuals would. So I think that for students who are not sure whether or not they should get an internship, it can only benefit you
Mhm.
as you are getting ready to actually apply for a job. I think it does set them apart from other candidates.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And for our PG students who have the option to do an internship, how could you imagine that they might be able to work with you or partner with you?
Yes, sure. So we have right now our students, our interns are required to come on campus. Our campus, our office is located on the University of Illinois Springfield's campus. And
Mhm.
so they are required to do 10 to 15 hours per week in the office, working on cases. And so that would be the requirement, and the expectation is from this point until we can venture off and explore
Yep.
other virtual options. But for now, if they live anywhere near, I'd say, the Springfield area, and if they're willing to commute to campus, currently we actually have an intern right now that is a student at Illinois State
Okay.
University, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away from Springfield, and she commutes back and forth. And so, and I'm also considering another student that lives in Champaign, Illinois, which is about an hour away. And I
Okay.
feel like if there is a student that is really interested in doing this work and willing to make that sacrifice and to make that drive, like, I'm willing, and I am
Excellent.
open to being able to consider them for an internship for sure.
Okay. Okay, that's fantastic. What about, do you have any kind of final advice for students that you would share?
Yeah, I think that when it comes to internships, I think it's starting early, and exploring and really looking to see what the options are. I also think that internships are a great trial run, like, especially if you are not sure what you actually want to do. Human services is such a broad area. And so it's like,
Mhm.
do I want to work with kids and families? Do I want to work with individuals that have addictions? So sometimes you're not sure. Take an internship because that's a
Right.
really clear
Right.
way. And I always say that, listen, there no one's gonna get hurt in the internship. So it's a true way,
Yep.
right? It's a true way of being able to do a trial run to say, oh my gosh, like, I had that case, I worked with this type of family or these individuals, and I know that it's not for me. Maybe I just have a very strong bias and I know I wouldn't do well. Whatever the case may be, I really think that those are really good opportunities to really kind of get your feet wet and to really kind of just explore and to see what it is that maybe genuinely that you're interested in. Because if not, I think what happens sometimes is that individuals like, oh, I know that I want to work with, I want to work in child welfare, and then they get a job in child welfare and it's not what they want, and then they end up
Right.
quitting.
Right.
This is So then it's like you're either out of work or you're stuck in a job that you don't really love.
Yep.
And that, right? And so to alleviate that, I think that an internship is a great way to be able to just explore different avenues, really kind of seeing what is out there, and then also just, having an opportunity to open yourself up to even areas maybe that you didn't even consider in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a great point. Is there anything else that I didn't ask that you would like to add?
I think that, no, I would just say that, is that I think that, Purdue Global gives a lot of great options as far as internships that are available.
Mhm.
And I also say that if there's something that maybe is not provided, let your instructor know, let your professor know. And then that way we can reach out, and maybe we have connections that maybe that we don't know. And maybe we need to, make some collaborations and
Yep.
do different things like that. So I would definitely say don't close any doors as far as like opportunities that could potentially be available. You don't know until you ask, a lot of the times. And so, I would definitely continuously just keep exploring those options.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Nikki, so much. And I'll put my email address in the comments below the video. So if students have questions about, internships, how to make that happen, how that works here, you can reach out to me. If you have questions for Nikki, I can connect you to her. So, we're always open to questions, and we want to help match students the best that we can for internships. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this today.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you. I wish everyone the best on their internship journey.
Thanks, Nikki.